Hello there. What are we talking about tonight, Joe?
We're talking about ourselves, Mark, because we're vain and narcissistic.
Yeah, it's because we didn't ever get into Instagram, so now we have to do it here on YouTube and Apple and everywhere. You're hearing it anyway. Yes, about us. What is the Based Edge podcast?
Yes, and yeah, man. I think let's start with what people could expect from. Like, I think it's very important to try and answer why should people even listen to us, right?
Well, I mean, that's just really obvious.
Is it?
Yeah, we're awesome. What are you talking about?
Confidence you have is breathtaking.
No, we're rad. That's why we're. It's bring a bit of humor to your terrible life living in South Africa, and everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's a bit of it. Let's look at the light side of life.
Well, we are going to touch on many topics. I think this.
Yes.
It's not like this. A lot of podcasts, like, they have niches, which is fine. And maybe, I don't know, maybe in time we will also find what our niche is. But for the time being, we are going to venture into almost any and every topic we possibly can. That ranges from music, entertainment, conspiracy theories, politics, and especially
current events.
And especially you guys that listen to us and watch us, comment in the comment section, where or what you would like us to talk about next, and if we're able to, and the YouTube gods deem it okay to view, then we'll talk about it.
Susan Wojcicki. We probably get flagged if I say her name. If you say her name, like the algorithm, because demonetized. Can't say her name.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just, it's only the guy that owns Microsoft who can't say his name. Apparently,
that guy.
Who's that guy again?
I don't know. I know it. I know. I want to say Bates, but I know that's not the right.
Yeah, it's something Bates.
Yeah,
Joel Bates. I don't know.
Anyway,
so I think a good starting point is why the Based Edge podcast.
Why did we call it the Based Edge?
Yeah, why did we call it that? I mean, what do we like? We like, it sounds like a metal band's name. If you had written it in that really hectic font, then we go like, oh, it's a metal band. Watch them.
Well, I think we had other ideas for names. Like, I wanted to go really random, like Boerewors and Corn Dogs. But then we realized, like, okay, that could be misleading. People might think it's a podcast about food. And then you went very Star Wars themed.
I mean, I couldn't help it. I was thinking of, like, like the Rebel Alliance, something in that line, because...
So uncivilized.
Like the name, what are we talking about? It's like, what does it encompass? It encompasses us having conversations about, current events, politics, things, because my feeling is that current events, entertainment, these things, they're downstream. Politics is downstream from this. So, like, entertainment, Star Wars, the stuff we watch, our current culture, having conversations, media in the day and age, YouTube, TikTok, that unfortunately is culture in the year 2023. It's the stuff you see online, and from that downstream is politics, and these are interesting things, and it's good to have conversations, and we should be having based conversations, right, Joe?
No, I agree, and that's the thing. You're gonna find based opinions on this podcast for sure.
Yeah.
And again, just to define based,
Yes.
because I think that's also important.
Yes.
I believe by the Urban Dictionary, meaning someone who basically is true to themselves, that doesn't really care, is going to say what they want to say and doesn't care what the reaction is. And that's pretty much how we are. Like, we definitely have our opinions. We're going to say our opinions.
Yeah.
And we definitely don't mind anybody who has a different opinion. As a matter of fact, we encourage it and would like you, or like some people who don't have the same opinions we do, to be on the show, and have a few debates. That's also going to be part of the show, and we're also going to have guests.
I think that is one of the main reasons I think we did this, because we live in a world where that's the opposite of what's happening. People don't want to have conversations. People want to silence other people. People don't want to hear other people's opinion. every single opinion should be like, should be given 2 cents to. Why not? Or like 1 cent. Let's give it 1 cent. Even the most craziest, like we said, conspiracy theories. Why not? Why can't we have a conversation about it? Like, if we go like put everything in sunlight and sunlight disinfects it. And that's the idea. When you go, no, you can't talk about something, I think that's silly. I think that's counterintuitive. That's the opposite of free thinking society, a liberal society, Yeah.
No, 100%. And like I was saying, like we're definitely going to have guests on the show, some of whom agree with what we say, some of whom will definitely try and get people who don't agree with us or may have a different opinion than us, because I think that creates positive and good debates. And like Mork just said, like you need to be able to have these conversations, and these conversations are not happening as much today. And I think it's good that they do happen. So hopefully we can provide that for you guys and have some interesting discussions. So, again, we're going to touch on many different topics, and we might repeat the topics because maybe one time we do a podcast on a topic, and then when it's released, someone's like, hey, I disagree with you guys. I want to come onto your show and talk about it. We'll be like, okay, cool. Let's do it, So
I mean, I would really love to talk to someone who loves Disney Star Wars. I would love to have that conversation going like, what? Like, I could spend an hour or two having a conversation with somebody.
You already have, Mork. I mean, I did at one point.
No, it's not true. That's impossible.
Well, I mean, I just pointed a couple of things out and went, go rewatch it. And then you were like, you came back and you were like, no.
You ruined my childhood.
I hate you.
All right. Well, I think we got some other questions prepared, which I know sounds really weird, but I basically Googled best podcast questions to ask.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then
it's not really it doesn't sound like a base thing to do. It sounds the opposite of base, but hey, sometimes we're going to be not based.
I don't know. I think our answers are going to be what makes it based. Anyway, so okay, the first two questions weren't part of the thing that I researched. I just know that some people might ask, why does Joe have an accent? You won't believe this.
Yes,
Mork.
Why do I have an accent?
On my YouTube channel, by the way, we have our own YouTube channels.
Yes.
I have the Joe Emilio Show. Mork has the Mork Rock Show. Links in the description. Go check them out. I've had a few comments on my show that people think I'm putting on the accent, like it's fake. Like I put on the accent in order to get more views.
No, there's too much bass in your voice. That's scared white folks. You got to sound like them. We were wondering if we can borrow some brown sugar.
No. You can really hear when somebody. It's usually, I find it's usually when someone's Afrikaans and they've gone like maybe out of school and they went to the States for 2 or 3 years and they come back and they've got this American accent. And you're like, that's weird because you're South Afrikaans and American. You don't. I mean, it's, yeah.
No, it's weird. It's real. The accent is real. And the reason for it, because I'm just trying to preempt this question that might come up one day, is I was born in the States, Texas born, and then I moved to Egypt for a while, and then I moved to South Africa. I've been in South Africa for, I think, 16 years now. So it's been a while. And so I just wanted to explain that before people start like, who's this fake guy doing?
You're pretending. Pretentious. Want to be American. Where's your American flag, bitch?
You know what? I used to, when my channel first started, I used to have the American flag in the background. And apparently it offended a lot of people.
Why? It's like it's part of your heritage. What the
But like that's the thing. Like
I mean, you don't sound like, because you're part American, you're part Egyptian, and you're part
South African,
and that's
a whole lot of other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't sound Egyptian. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what Egyptian people sound like.
I speak London.
Oh, they just. Oh, is that it? I just trying to think of the Mummy movies, and I can't remember what the Mummy sounds like. But it was Arnu Foslu, so like,
No.
I was like,
I
have to ask you this. So when you watched the Mummy, did you like, you were like, oh god, that's my guy, because South African guy being like the Mummy, and
Wait,
like you were like,
which Mummy? Though?
The one with Brendan Fraser, like
Okay.
the good ones.
Yeah, the good ones.
Sate vapuku raek.
Not the Tom Cruise one.
I felt it was very historically correct, to be honest.
Yes.
I was like, for
Did you
the
feel,
first,
do you feel patriotic about it?
I do, and the first 6 months I was in Egypt, I lived that movie.
Oh, hectic. Oh, cool. You're like in tunes.
Yeah.
Lara Croft's got nothing on me, man.
Nah,
I've
man.
been there, done that.
Brendan Fraser saved me many times.
Oh, that's funny. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, Egypt's cool, man. Egypt's cool. Don't always go visit. I always tell people to go visit and check out the.
It's one of like the places I'd love to go. Like I love to do Egypt. Like I love the history, like Egyptian history, the pyramids. I love that shit. It's like it's really
it's
cool.
great. It's awesome.
Dig it seriously.
Nothing like I used to, even when I was a kid, like I don't think I fully understood the weight of standing in front of the pyramids, like, because when I was a kid I wasn't that interested in, like, I was like, oh, it's just like stone and rock there. Like rock and sand, but now, like, knowing its significance and the mysteries behind it, I'm like, sure, that's. Ooh. I think now, if I went now and like now, which hopefully I'll get a chance to go again, I think I would appreciate it. I would appreciate being there more. Not, I mean, like, listen, I definitely enjoyed the pyramids, and I enjoyed the tombs that I went. I've traveled a lot in Egypt, went to many tombs and all that stuff, and they're pretty cool. But yeah, like I tell people to go visit, and that's why I have an accent, is because I used
but you were
to live in
saying
America.
people didn't like the American flag. They were offended by it. Why?
Yes. So I had, at the beginning of my YouTube channel, I had like the American flag hung up in the background, and some people were like this one guy in a live chat was like, "Why are you hanging up this imperial flag?" And I'm like, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I'm just like, okay, dude, if it offends you so much, why are you watching? Like, just. And
I must say, sorry, go for it. No.
Yeah, and then I tried to, like, I don't want to say appease people, but I was like, okay, I am proud to also be South African, so I'm gonna put the American flag and the South African flag together behind me, and people were still offended.
What did you do next? You put the American flag, the South African flag, and then the old South African flag in the middle.
No.
All three. No, I'm kidding.
No, it was just the 1994 South African flag and the American flag together, and people were still offended. Like, oh, those flags shouldn't be next to each other, man. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop trying to,
whatever.
Like, you know, this is me. It's about me. It's my channel. You don't like it, don't watch. Anyway.
Yeah, don't watch it, exactly.
That explains that. And the next question I have is for you, Mork.
Ooh, yay.
And the question is, why is Mork such a douche?
Oh. Because I practiced and I trained really hard to be one. This is just natural. This is like years of training. This is years of practice.
I know Kung Fu. Show me.
Did you go to like a specific college?
Douche College. It's the same one that Trump started. No, kidding. It's Trump University. I went there. I got a scholarship. Oh, by the way, these shows are pre-recorded because of production value.
Yes. Which you really only get the real production value if you watch it on YouTube or Rumble.
Yeah.
And
if you're listening.
Yeah. And soon Odyssey, because apparently Odyssey deems us not
Not
worthy. Yeah. But As soon as we're worthy, we'll be on Odyssey. And yes, of course, if you're listening on the podcast, like, you know, we're listening to this while you're going to work or while you're doing something, I don't know, whatever. That's fine. But just so you know, you can see us visually.
Yes, visual. Pretty picture. A picture tells 1,000 words. Right?
But in all seriousness, though, Mork is not a douche. I think you can be, but like for the right reasons, if that makes sense. Like that tweet that you had earlier that I saw, which I thought was really good.
What did they do? Oh, earlier, no.
Let me see. I mean, we'll probably pop it up later.
Which one? The one?
Which one? There's so many where I'm being a douche, Joe. You got to be specific.
I've got ADD, so I'm like.
So this guy tweeted. So there's a picture of Hooters waitresses around two boys who I'm assuming are, I don't know, maybe
7 or 8 to 10 years old.
Maybe, yeah. I would say 8 to 11, somewhere there.
Yeah.
Okay. In that range. And this guy tweets this photo and says, wait, so drag shows are inappropriate for kids, but this isn't. I'm confused. To which Mork Rock said very, very douchebaggery, but for, you know, the right side. Hooters girls bring food in tight uniforms and maybe pose for a picture. They're not reading stories about heterosexual ideology, offering guidance, or doing sexual pole, twerk, or lap dancing for the kids in public schools or libraries. FML. Brilliant.
Thank you, sir.
And that douchebaggery is something I applaud and welcome.
These two things are not the same.
Yes.
Drag Queen Story Hour and girls wearing skimpy outfits. Come on.
So, I mean, like on that topic though, just very quickly, like, if I'm honest, I would be uncomfortable taking my child to Hooters, and that's where I blame the parents. I mean, there is an age appropriate. I mean, I know that in America, Hooters is like a family restaurant or whatever. And fine, if you want to be that family that goes to Hooters for your dinner time, that's on you. Hey, we live in a free society. You're welcome to do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying personally, I wouldn't do it, but that doesn't mean that your comparison doesn't hold water, because it does. Yeah. Because again, Hooters, all they're doing, yes, they're wearing tight outfits. They're not, some could argue revealing, some would not.
We don't go big. We go bigger.
But regardless, I mean, drag is completely different. Like,
now this is a, as you might pick up from the name, a cabaret rave that is meant for babies. Yes, babies. It is a touring show that goes from place to place, performing sexual cabaret for babies and toddlers.
Yeah.
You know, these aren't drag people serving you food. These are waitresses, and actually they're not allowed to be I don't know, for lack of a better word, slutty while they serve you, you know.
No, they can't. They're professional waitresses. These people aren't like, they're not going, hey, for extra 20 I'll do a lap dance in the back for your son. That's not happening. It's but this is actually a great example of like, when we go, this like almost like you know, maybe I had a base tweet there, but it's just sometimes it's just based. It's just common sense. It's just like just think about it for a second. These two things are not the same. It's like, you know, like, what is the rational opinion here? Like, are these two things the same? No, they're not. But you know, we make them the same. They're not. They're not the same thing.
No. Wokies make them the same. Wokies try and make them the same, and they're absolutely not.
I mean, I completely agree with you. I'll probably, if I had kids, I probably wouldn't take my kids to Hooters. I mean, again, I don't see like the skimpy outfit because I mean, maybe I would say like at 12. I think at the age of like 12, I started noticing, or 11, you start noticing girls. You know, like there we go. Oh, girls are cute. Like 7, 8 years old. It's like there's a tunny there, or like a lady. It's just like it doesn't. If she's got a skimpy, you don't know. Dad's going there for that. I'm going, and the wife's going, this is fun. I'm going, yes, it is. She's pretty. She's named after champagne.
I can tell you most wives are not saying, this is fun. No, most wives are like, I hate you for bringing me here. Like,
I've only been to Hooters once, and it was on tour. We were in Pretoria somewhere. We went to Hooters. It's not like America.
Yeah, the South
America's
African
got pretty girls.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Listen,
South African women are very beautiful.
No. I'm not saying South African women. I'm saying Hooters. They were like, we'll just employ anybody that's female. Okay, no, you need to be more, but they can't because we've got labor laws.
Are you sure that they were female, Mark?
No, they were. This is before 2016, 2015 when everything changed.
Yeah, so I was at a Hooters in South Africa. The one on Edward Street, for those who may remember. And Mork looks very confused.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Edward Street? That was like the happening place in like 2000.
In Cape Town?
Yeah. Like in the northern suburbs.
Oh, yeah. I remember there was one in the northern suburbs. Never went to it. Went to the one in Pretoria, or somewhere in Joburg or something.
Yeah, the one in the northern suburbs was... I mean, okay, the ladies weren't ugly. They weren't.
But did they flirt with you for? I mean, obviously, like
no
waitresses, not even at Hooters flirt with you for extra tip. That's just what they do. Yeah. I've had men flirt with me for extra tip. Like, hi, darling. Like, can I get?
Oh my word, I've had that too.
No, but of course, it's not like it's. But like, no one's like that same guy is not going to make a comparison between a gay waitress, a gay waiter, or something, or doing that, or a lesbian waitress doing that, flirting with. He's not going to do it. He's using this stupid comparison.
I actually did ask. Like,
how old were you when you went? Sorry.
Sure. This was
a while ago. You're a young, strapping lad.
I was in my 20s. That I know.
Okay. Well, that's a good time to go.
And I did ask one of the waitresses, like, what's it like to work there? And she was like, she hates it. No, because like we don't actually realize, right, that because they're forced to wear these outfits, right, that there are some, unfortunately, our species, if I can put it that way, Mork, not always gentlemanlike, and
of course not.
And yeah, they have to deal with shady people.
No, 100%. I mean, it's like they it's like and the thing is this: if you feel bad for the chicks at Hooters, you should feel bad for really, really bad for the chicks at Mavericks.
Oh. Yeah, no, that's...
I mean, like, geez. Just because I mean, that's the thing. It's like people work in the industry, but I think it's across the board with I think...
Wait, are you saying that Hooters waitresses and Mavericks strippers are the same now?
No. It's like, I think that's like the upgrade. It's like if you work really hard at Hooters.
At Hooters, you get...
You get to go work at Mavericks.
Wow, so they're like funneling the talent in. Like,
well, no, actually, because this is based on a statistic. So apparently, like, if you go look at like the majority of Hooters goals in the States, I think it's something like 89, 90, 92% of all Hooters goals either end up doing like, no, this is before we had OnlyFans and this type of stuff. Most of them, this is like the year 2015, 14, I think there was a stat going like, I think 90% of Hooters goals end up going to shoot for Playboy or end up in sort of, risque sort of vibes.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
it was a funny, great statistic. Look at almost every single Playboy girl I think ever has worked. I think the other way around. I think it was 90% of everybody that's been in Playboy at one time worked at Hooters.
But that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But also, The other way would also make sense, but and nothing wrong with that. I mean, you mentioned OnlyFans, and I think this episode's going to come out before our interview with an OnlyFans model. Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
So look out for that.
Yes,
Hit the notify, and
that very interesting conversation.
Lovely
that
conversation.
Was. Learned a lot, actually.
Yeah, same. I was going into it. I was like, oh shit, like, oh, it's gonna be. It was actually very cool. It was also known as accounting. So next time, like someone, I get an email like, I'd like to talk to you. Could you get me in touch with your accountant? I'm gonna go. Ooh, here's a link.
Yeah, well, we all know that you're a teacher, aren't you, Mark?
Of course, I'm a teacher.
Anyway, so look out for that episode. It's really interesting, and we'll probably talk to more individuals of that nature in the future. I know that there's apparently an Afrikaans, specifically Afrikaans OnlyFans model, so it'd be interesting to chat to her.
That's it's weird. I'm just thinking, sort of going. I've never found it like a kinky vibe of like hey Bokkie, call me. Like it's always been, because Afrikaans is like a weird. I don't. It's like.
I think we're gonna learn so much about the Afrikaners, man. Like we gotta.
Yes, I'd love to, but I mean, we should like combine it with get like a, then after that do like Afrikaans OnlyFans and do like Afrikaans metal, Afrikaans rock music or something, or like get the guy
all Afrikaans series.
Okay. Yeah, like doing a whole Afrikaans series on the stuff.
We can do that. We can do anything. So yeah, okay. So moving on to the next question. And I think that, so this one's also not part of the questionnaire. We'll get there. Where do we stand on the political spectrum?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, this is one.
So Mork and I have done the online political compass. What's your political compass? And the results are in, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see on your screen, I am closer to the center than Mork is, which was surprising.
How was that surprising?
I told you. I thought you were going to be more to the center than I was. So
but I think you know what I think it is. I think it's a lot of the economic questions that I was like.
Yeah.
I would probably be very right wing economically, like going like no taxes, leave me alone, that type of stuff. So yeah.
I think I was, I don't know. I think the abortion question, you and I were different. I think that definitely. Anyway, so there's a lot of other questions that are very interesting.
But actually, the funny part was you were telling me that you did this about a year ago, and it was a much different test, right?
Yeah, I was dead centered. I actually tried to look. Yeah, so when I first took the test, like I think a year or two ago, and I did try and look for the original screenshot again, but I couldn't find it. I probably could, but it's like really difficult to find right now. Anyway, I was almost like dead center. I was a little bit to the right, but I was close. Like I was almost dead center. And now to see that shift, that was quite a big shift. I was actually quite surprised. But I guess it's because I became a dad, and now I just
which is very
differently.
Being a dad is based by itself.
Yeah,
that's like proper based. Yeah.
Yeah. So you still have to level up, my friend.
Yeah, sure, soon. Apparently, like a lot of the ideas I have, like I'm not allowed to do that to kill children. Apparently, it's considered, like you've got to put them in the back seat. You've got to strap them in. I don't recall ever being strapped into a car back in the day. Like I just like, what, a seat? You sit in the back? Shit, I sat in the front. I sat next to my mother.
You
playing
probably
with
don't
the
remember
while she was driving. No, dude, there was no rules back in the day. Now you can get pulled over for like, not having your kid in the front seat. It's like it's
That's
government, true.
Yeah. So we the reason why we showed that is to show people where we stand politically, and you can either agree with us, not agree with it, doesn't matter. But we're definitely not lefties. That's for sure. And I was shocked to find out that I'm a little bit more left leaning than you are. Because I thought that was going to be the opposite.
I mean, it's just we're also not right wing in the sense of like, because I mean, and this is what a lot of the people, the people that apparently I'm not allowed to interview. No, I'm kidding. Like a lot of people on like I would say the extreme left, they love labeling people, going like, I've seen where people called you like a complete like a right winger. We're not right wing. We're not like orthodox, And again, I disagree with the term, the basis of it. We're not right wing fundamentalists. We're not fascist. We're opposite. I think both myself and Joe, you could see the thing. We're civil libertarians. Well, we're right libertarians, meaning like
I like to think of myself as a classical liberal. But go on.
Exactly, 100%. I'm a classical liberal. I want to have people to have freedom. Like, listen, like the gender thing, this stuff. I don't care. Do whatever you want to. Where I have an issue is when you start dictating what I must think. That's the issue I have. I think people must do whatever they want to, whatever makes them happy. As soon as it starts affecting me, you start forcing me to do things or live a certain way to appease you. I take issue with that. And the same with like economically, I would say I'm very right, as in I don't like the idea of government like taxing. I consider taxation to be theft. Yes! I am also this is one thing me and Joe maybe disagree a little bit on. I would consider myself and this is the only time I don't go along with what Obi-Wan said.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
But I am, to a degree, a free speech absolutist.
Yeah, you and
That's
I do.
any time.
You and I do have, differ a little bit on that, but in a good way, I think.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah,
like I think in the sense of like what the government is. I like the whole vibe of like, if you don't like what I'm saying, it doesn't stop me from being responsible. If I had to say like, I hate Joe, you're going to stop being my friend or something like that, whatever it is, but. But I mean, like, my point is like, unless it's a physical thing, and it's a call to violence, that is not covered in free speech. That is not part of free expression, free speech. A call to action is a physical. It's the difference between saying you're dumb or saying I hate you and hitting you. That's the difference. The law steps in when and again, I sort of like, and this, I'd love to have this conversation with you about the concept of
free speech,
libel law and defamation.
Defamation. There's two different types of defamation: it's criminal and criminal injuria, and the other one. And basically, I think it's good to get a lawyer involved when it comes to this conversation, because we also may be a little bit incorrect. But as far as I understand it. If I say on social media, Mork is I can't say that on YouTube. So, Mork.
I beat up somebody. I beat up some lady.
No. Mork is a Trump supporter, and that means he's a right wing fascist, and nobody should work with him, and anybody who works with him should be canceled. Okay. Yeah. And let's say that post on social media reaches your boss. Yeah. And your boss decides, Mork, this is going to cause problems for us. Yeah. We're going to have to fire you or let you go. Yeah. You lose your job because of this post. Now that is defamation, because the person doesn't have any proof that. And also the statement itself is stupid.
I get it. So there's got to be a something actually has to happen. So if I just go like, for example, I say, Joe is a bank robber, and then nothing happens. But for example, now the cops come after you and they arrest you because they suspect you of bank robbing, and that's a defamation suit.
Almost, yeah, but you can't because you need to. The cops would ask you for evidence, so like you can't. But like for example, in the example I gave, your boss didn't really look for evidence. He
fired you on the basis of that,
of an opinion. Yeah. So and that's where the person who said that stuff is really like putting themselves in a very dangerous situation, because they need to be able to prove what they're saying. And that's when you can go and be like, listen, none of this is true. I'm taking you to court for defamation because none of this is true. And if that person can't prove what they've said about you, well, then you're going to win because it is defamation. So that's the one type of defamation. I'll need a lawyer on the other type of defamation.
Yeah, and of course. Because just on that, just one second. So I would go, I would go, I don't think the person who said it he shouldn't be at fault for saying it, because people are allowed to have opinions. I can go like, I think Joe's a bank robber, and then you lose your job at the bank, right? But the person who's trusting my opinion should be sued. Your boss, the guy, the bank manager who's firing you because you read that opinion, he's at fault, not me saying it. Like, that's the thing. That's where I'm going, like, the fault should be on the person who's taking action because of the opinion.
But
like, it's if I had to say, if I had to go, for example...
You can't do that. I'll tell you why. Because your boss never would have fired you if that was never out there in the universe, if that makes sense. So had no one said that, you would still have your job. So there's a cause and effect there. It's like when one of the politicians of this country go out and say, kill the boer, and then someone happens to do it. It's kind of the same concept in terms of like someone said something which led to an action of someone else doing something. And so the essence of where it started is the important part here. Yes, that makes sense.
But again, so for example, so taking that, and this is, I think, the last part, we can obviously
we can go into a very deep conversation
into this. But for example, like the vibe with especially the EFF kill the boer statement, that is a direct call to action. You can, we can debate this in the, while it's a struggle song, it's not. It is, by definition, the words is kill the boer. It is a call to action. By its fundamental English basic understanding, a child gets it, right? That is a call to action. Where I went like, maybe people should kill the boer, and you're going like, that's not a call to action. And if farmers get killed because of that statement, I can't be held liable, because that's that fine line between when is it actually a call to action and when is it, so that's my whole vibe. And like the criminal juror thing, like I am just 100% against that crap. But yes, another conversation, another time.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll have a lawyer that's that does defamation cases, so that we'll get a clear understanding of how that works. But in layman's terms, basically, if you say something that is not true about someone, and that someone encounters distress, or not even distress, just loss of income or something really horrible to them because of something someone said about you, and you can prove that the statement they said was incorrect, and therefore the stuff they experienced was unjust, you can sue for defamation. In a nutshell, that's the idea of it. So yeah, why do you look?
I mean, like, so just a question. Like I earlier on said that Tom Cruise was he sucked in The Mummy, right? So what if they want to make a
defamation?
Mummy? Yeah, but I mean, I said he's really like, he's a dumbass. Right, like, yeah, but he's a dumbass. Now some director reads, I tweeted that, and the director of The Mummy 2, who wanted to hire Tom Cruise, reads that and go like, well, Mork said he's a dumbass, I'm not going to hire Tom Cruise. Now Tom Cruise sues me. Right? That's not fair. I'm not of opinion, and I think Tom Cruise is a dumbass in The Mummy.
Yeah, but saying someone is a dumbass and saying someone
can't act,
shouldn't be hired.
Oh yeah. I mean, okay, yeah. Okay.
Is different. Yeah. Okay, we got to stop.
Sorry. This is why this show is going to be fun, because we're just going to have conversation about, and this is the fun part, is like having that natural conversation about things. And this is why I think people. This is the one part I think I miss on. Especially like I think with Instagram and TikTok, I'm not a TikToker. I don't get it. I don't get the 15-second, 30-second thing. It feels like an advert. I want to see a full conversation. I want to see where it goes. I want to stand it. I love that long form. I love long form, like Joe Rogan, that type of stuff. Like long EFAP. Go watch Mauler. Big up to Mauler. He's a cool dude.
All right.
Sorry. Carry on. Yes, questions.
All right, so next question. So now we're getting into that questionnaire thing. So let's try and make these short.
Cool.
So I'll ask the question, you can answer, and then I'll answer after you. What do people misunderstand about you most?
My race. being called white privileged. I'm like, no, I'm not. My parents made sacrifices. They sent me to public school and they paid for it.
My parents made sacrifices.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's a cool. Yeah.
Okay, that's
I can't really think of anything. But
No,
yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. If it's the first thing that popped into your mind.
And you?
I think I kind of covered it, assuming that I put a fake accent on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're not fake. You're not fake. You're genuine.
I'm American. Like I'm actually American.
Yeah, you are American.
Yeah. And also, what do people misunderstand about? They think that because I'm American, I have dollars, and that's just
you're just like a normal. You're poor like all of us in South Africa.
Yeah. I blame the ANC.
I wish I had dollars now.
All right. So, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Ooh, Christmas. I still to this day I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite time of the year.
Okay.
And you?
I was hoping for something a little bit more
like what? Like
specific.
Like the time the dentist touched me.
What?
Never happened. I'm just kidding.
We're gonna gloss over that.
Remember.
What's your favorite childhood memory? I guess for me, I could say Christmas too, but I'm gonna be a little bit more. It's general. It's not that specific, but
yeah.
A lot of my childhood was in Texas, and one of my favorite childhood memories is me on a four-wheeler with my dad, and he's taking me on a ride to basically he's inspecting. We used to live on a ranch, so he's so he's going through checking on all the animals and stuff like that, and that's just one memory I have riding on that four-wheeler with him, and just feeling safe. That's the first thing that popped into my head.
Family as well, but that's the I think like my vibe with Christmas was like my entire family was together because my parents would work a lot. I mean, like the only time we'd really like be together would be over Christmas, and that sort of joy of family doing dinner, like like obviously presents, but also like it was just fun, that like festiveness of it. That's what I kind of love, like
100%.
Yeah.
And next question, what's your favorite? Oh, sorry, ask that one. What's an insult you've received that you're proud of? I think you also just answered that.
Yeah, calling me white privilege. Okay. No, actually, it was. I can't think of one.
White privilege. That's probably it.
Probably, yeah. So, yeah, white privilege. I'm like, no. Generations of my great-great-grandparents sacrificed stuff. That's kind of how privilege works, dumbass.
I do actually want to have a conversation on this channel about white privilege and if it really exists.
Well, me too. Great conversation.
So that's going to happen.
Should we get someone that believes it does?
Yes.
But it has to be a white person talking about white privilege, because I don't think in the woke world, where like white people can't talk about racism, so we black people shouldn't be allowed to talk about white privilege.
Mic drop.
Oh, God. That's silly. Sorry.
Cancel. All right. So no, I don't know. We'll give it some thought. I think it might be interesting to have two guests with us as well.
Someone who believes in it and someone who doesn't believe in it.
Or even if both of them kind of believe.
It doesn't. Yeah.
I'm thinking one like female white person and a black person.
Yeah.
If possible. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, of course.
So if I have to answer that question, what's an insult you've received that you're proud of? When I was in Egypt, I used to be ridiculed for being American. Like they insulted me for being American. And I was actually proud of being an American. So, yeah.
Kev. Haha, you showed them.
Yes, I owned it like the N-word.
Exactly. Oh.
I like how you were on board with that, though. Like,
I was like, yeah, cool. I literally even want to do I want to do an entire episode just on the N-word, where
Oh my
I think
word.
it'd be interesting. No,
It
no,
would
not,
be
not like,
interesting.
but,
It would
but
be
just the philosophy behind it. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like the fact that, you know, like that kind of thing. Not like
Yeah, yeah.
just an episode of us just saying the N word.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Yeah. No, 100%.
The ideology behind it,
I
like
didn't say it
thoughts.
either, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So, what has been your favorite job you've held?
Ooh. Managing a punk rock band?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool job. I'm not gonna lie.
pretty
That's
cool.
that's a pretty
Yeah.
like. Damn, you
I
must.
can't
I got it.
remember
We
a lot
got to
of
do
it.
We've got to do an interview with you on this channel, or you and a band member on this channel. How
Oh,
about
yeah,
that?
that's a good idea.
All right, and like Ross or something, and
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
and just like tell the good old war stories.
Just the old stories. Yeah, that'd actually be a great idea.
Yeah. Part of the music
And yours?
topic. Favorite job that you're gonna be shocked.
No, go for it. Why would I be shocked?
Video store clerk.
What? A what store clerk?
A video store clerk. The rental video like a,
Dude, I literally did that. I was like in school. I was working at a video store. It was awesome.
I love it, man. I loved it so
Dude, we
much.
just
Like
watched
when
the
people-
whole
Like when people came in and like dared to ask me like, so what should I watch tonight? I'm like, oh, come with me, my friend. And then I would like go through the whole like, okay, this is what our new releases. This one's got like, okay, this one won a lot of Oscars. Didn't really like Tom Cruise in this one, but if you're a horror fan, you might enjoy it. This one, cuck. Don't even go and like Star Wars, the new one, cuck. Just don't even. And then.
Yeah, I remember I worked in a video store as well. I think it's like standard 6, standard 7. And the coolest part about it was the fact that I would give free movies to the older standard 9 and matric girls. And they'd come in like, it's cool, it's on the house, baby. You know, and then she'd say hi to you the next day at school. Like, hey man. I'm like, hey.
But you never got laid. That's so sad.
Well, maybe.
Did you give the rom-coms away? Like
just go like, just the first one's free, and she goes like, so how about it? I'm like, hey, let's go to the back. First one's free, baby.
Oh man, okay.
Mork's a misogynist.
Never happened to me. But no, I really enjoyed that job.
Yeah, I love it too, dude.
And like you were saying earlier, like watching the movies while you're sitting there and it's like a quiet day or whatever. Also awesome.
Fun, dude.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, due to streaming and futuristic stuff, those video stores are dying. So, but yeah, it was a fun job.
I mean, I think where was I last? I saw a video store that still exists. I think it was in Hermanus somewhere.
Oh yeah, like they would be in like small,
like a little video store. I'm like, how does this place still exist? Like what the? And I actually went in and had a look and was like, oh cool. It's like O's are still renting stuff. That's good.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, the most recent movie is like from 1941. So like. That's useful. All right. So, next question. What has been your least favorite job to date? So now it's the opposite.
Ooh. Oh, like being a waiter, service industry. That was rough. Or working like in advertising as like promotions, like I worked for an agency where I was like, the first year of my life where it was like, you got to go, do the grunt work, driving around, delivering stuff to clients. That shit, I hated that. And then like being a waiter, it was people's attitudes. Just like I couldn't believe that people are just so disrespectful towards somebody serving them. It was insane. Yeah, that was it.
It's a tie between also waitering. Like I hated waitering, hated it. And dog walking. No, I don't have anything against dogs. I thought it was a great idea until I realized that some dogs are not very nice.
No, they're not.
Yeah, and
I mean, I'm not a fan of dogs. I'm a cat person. Like dogs. I mean,
I'm a dog person.
If you gave me your dog to walk or look after, I wouldn't do that if I were you, because I'd ship that thing to China.
Wow.
I'm saving a family from starvation.
Wow, you
Like, I
really
wouldn't
don't like
do
dogs?
that, but no, I don't think dogs. No, dogs are
Okay.
like, I don't know. They're just like, they feel like they're dumber. They're like, you know, like they're just all over the place. Like cats
Then-
are like, I love cats' attitude. That sort of not caring vibe.
You haven't had a good dog, my friend. But anyway,
It's a good dog.
no, I'm sorry. Dogs are awesome.
Needy
Anyway,
bastards. Anyway,
see,
sorry.
we don't agree on everything on this channel.
My opinion's based though. Cats are based. Dogs are like communists. They just follow the pack.
I'm gonna buy a dog tomorrow. Okay, so if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh God, easy. Buy more Bitcoin.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
That's it, dude. Like spend 1,000 rand and buy Bitcoin when it was like $2.
Yeah,
That's it.
100%.
Be balling right now.
Okay, mine is not so smart. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. At the time when I was 18, 2-3 years later, I would have been dating a girl. Now, this girl might be watching this, so I'm going to say, I'm not saying that I regret our relationship, because I think
You never wanted to date her.
No. I did grow from that relationship. I learned a lot from that relationship. However, okay,
Yeah.
I would go back to my 18-year-old self and give some pointers about the upcoming relationships that I'm about to have, especially with the next one in my 20s. I won't get into it now.
Yeah.
Some stuff happened. And yeah, I would just brace my 18-year-old self for that.
I think I agree with you. That's the second thing I would do. I'd go back going like her and her, just stay away from them. Them's crazy.
Yeah.
Date
for that
between
one.
the
Go
ages-
for that other one. Remember that
date-
one that you... I can give you like a really cool like thing. So my wife and I at the moment, right? Very quickly. My wife and I, we actually met in 2010. Okay. But because of the relationship that I'm speaking of, okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't in it at the time that we met, but I was so broken
Yeah, because
that I
of
didn't
that.
have confidence to ask out my wife at that point. Only I think 8 years later, when I met my wife again, just through
What?
chance, did we start dating again and blah blah blah. So I think it would be interesting to go back to my 18-year-old self and be like, listen, dude, the chick that you're gonna meet in a shop the one day is coming. You don't date anyone until you meet that chick. That's the woman you're meant to be with.
No, but see, that's good. I think I love that. That's also another thing we want to like. I think we also want to like touch on is like I think because it's I do see a lot of content about dating, and I'd love to get sort of the South African perspective on what's the dating world like. Because I mean,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
me and you, we how long have you been married now, Joe? What,
Well,
3,
okay.
4?
Well, I was in a serious relationship for 7 years, and then single for a very brief moment of time, and then met my wife, my current wife, and we've been married now for almost since 2020. Yes, 2020 we've been married. Yeah, but we were dating. We were dating for like 2 years before we got married.
Yeah, but also so like the whole the current sort of dating, what do you call it? The dating system. You were never part of that. Like, you know, the post-COVID, everything is online. Everything is sort of, you know, a
Neither were
dating
you,
app
bitch.
with
Why you?
No,
why
I'm
you-
just saying that's neither am I.
Yeah.
I don't know this world, and it's like it would be interesting to find out from someone like what exactly is it like dating in this day and age. Like, I mean, I'm back in the day, you'd have to go to a bar and like, you know, you'd see the girl and you kind of have to wait and then, you know, catch her attention, say something to her, and she's just going to turn around and go like, get lost, weirdo, and then you're like, or like there's
Got
a chick
that a
looking
lot.
from the other side. You got it, like there was like now it's just like swipe right, like. Wow, that seems so hard. And also, like, you know, like the philosophy and the psychology of how that sort of is that good? Is it bad? Is there long term?
Yeah.
Is it like what impact does it have on it? How do people feel? Are people dating more, or is it like is there just a lot of more casual sex happening? Like, is that good for society? Like, it would be nice to have these conversations with people.
Oh hell yeah, and we're definitely going to do that. That's very interesting.
Yes.
One to go with. But like, just as a quick comment, I would hate to be dating in 2023 personally. Like, I would hate it. I would be so freaking scared, man. Like, I'd literally be scared of women. Like, I'm not even kidding, because like as a comedian, for those of you who don't know, I'm a comedian as well. Like, so hey, you've been to my show, bitch.
Yes, I have. I said you were a good comedian.
Oh, I thought you said you were a bad comedian. Sorry, my bad.
No.
Thank you. Anyway, so because I'm a comedian, obviously, like, you know, after the show, it's like, oh, let's take pictures and stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, take a picture, you know, and stuff like that. And then I'm worried that maybe, I don't know, like a girl I meet at a show becomes really interested. We kind of hit it off. Things are going well. And then it's obviously in a world where I'm not married. And then, you know, I don't know. I end it because she likes cats. And, and I don't mind cats. And then she starts sharing things about me on social media, you know, like, and things that aren't true, you know. That's what I'm scared of. And then how do you combat that in today's society, with the way social media is and how things spread really quickly, you know? And unfortunately, fortunately, depending on which side you sit on, you know, a lot of people tend to believe the woman at first. So you see, it's that whole, oh, dude, no.
There was literally a hashtag going around that went "believe all women."
Exactly. So,
which is the most stupidest thing in the world. Believing somebody just because of their gender, like, or their sexuality. Like, really, God,
no,
I'm just thinking of these hashtags are retarded.
100%. And I'm so happy. Like, I am happily married. No joke. I love my wife so much. I cannot imagine a world without her. And I am happy to be married. I've won the game. I mean, like, you date because you want to find someone that you're going to live with for the rest of your life. Or at least that's how it was back in 10 years ago. Now maybe you just date to have fun. I don't know. But for me, in my world, in my opinion, you're dating to find someone that you're going to marry and spend the rest of your life with and hopefully have a family with if you choose to do so. That's winning the game. That's winning the dating game. I've won it.
100%. Yeah.
You know, you've won it. You know.
Yeah.
So
no, exactly. That the entire sort of the way people perceive it. It's like the young man's like, I want to be rich, so I want to date lots of girls. Like, there is nothing fun about that.
Yeah.
Like, after every girl you date, and this is scientifically proven, your pair bonding decreases every single time. There's studies done on this stuff. It's not good for you. Every time you make an emotional connection with somebody, and then you break it off and you make another one, there's an issue that happens. Like, now you're
100%.
Like, now you've got trust issues. Cheats on you. That's like back in the day. Like, I mean, at one stage I was thinking like arranged marriages probably wasn't that bad of an idea. As a civil libertarian, I'm like against that, but it kind of makes sense to a certain degree. You know, like,
yeah, exactly.
One person, you love them. You know, like, so, you know, there's an argument on both sides of this thing. But
100%.
Great conversation.
That'd be another great conversation to have. Is like arranged marriages, and Indians still do
and
it.
especially and another thing that I mean, like the African culture of I think the Khoisan Zulu is like the whole Lobola thing. It's like that's
100%.
That's like you're paying for you know, like you're paying for. I mean, it's not paying, it's not slavery, but it's like you're paying for someone. You know, like it's a weird. I think we do it opposite in sort of Western culture where the woman sort of the dowry vibe, where it's the opposite way around. The man gets it because, you know, but like, another great conversation to have those two different worldviews, those cultures.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. So there's two more questions left, and then we're going to end it. So, what would be the title of the book about you if your worst enemy wrote it?
Ah, good Lord. Mork's a douchebag.
Wait a second. I'm not your worst enemy.
No, I'm kidding. That's something. It would probably be something like that. Mork sucks. Don't watch his channel. Like, what? Come on.
Mine would probably be Joe Emilio the Mexicant.
That's actually that'd be a cool comedy show.
Actually, yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Like all the things that as a Mexican you can't do, like
eat spicy foods. Yes, I know you're very upset about that.
drink tequila. Can you drink lots of tequila, or do you like?
I can actually, but I just choose not to because you don't want to see Tequila Joe.
Oh, no, now I do.
Tequila.
There's another thing we can do. We should actually get drunk one night and then ask each other questions or something.
Oh, not doing that.
Yeah, no.
No way.
Either we either have to live stream it or just not do it, because like we'd record it and we'd just never upload it. It would just be like bleep, bleep, and like, say the most random stuff.
Yeah, that's true. All right, last question. And this is a good one. I like this question. What are 3 movies you'd recommend to the audience and why? See,
okay.
I know what's happening in Mork's head right now. There's like a movie that pops up and then a better one pops up.
Yeah, like I can't decide. I know all of them, but I would have to say, like, if it's, I'd go. Damn it, I'd go Return of the Jedi. If you've never watched Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, start there. Then this is difficult. Usual Suspects.
Okay.
If you haven't seen that, and maybe either like The Village or Signs, something from M. Night Shyamalan. Like, I just love his sort of eeriness. Signs,
why would you tell people to watch those 3 movies?
Just, it's good storytelling. Star Wars is probably of the best storytelling. That is the hero's journey. It's why Harry Potter did well. It's why all these great stories from the beginning of time is the specific story formula to it. Usual Suspects, just it's great directing. Yeah, and then M. Night Shyamalan, just the twistiness of it. I love that. That's why. Go watch it. Great directing, great cinematography, epic. That's why. Yours?
So mine would be, and this doesn't mean that they're the top 3 movies of all time for me or anything like that, or that I necessarily think that they're the top 3 movies that I love beyond any other movies. I just think if I was to tell someone to go watch the movies, this would be them. Identity, and the reason, and the reason being is just because it's a very good thriller. It's a very good thriller with an awesome twist. I wouldn't say it affected me, but it's one of those movies for me. I've watched it a million times. I remember the first time I watched it, it just captivated me at the time when it was released. I mean, this is like a 2000 odd movie, so it's really old. But at the time when it was released, I was just like, wow. And it made me actually enjoy John Cusack, because I wasn't a big fan of him before. But when I saw that movie, I love
that movie, dude.
And then the other movie would be Snatch.
Mustard? I don't care if it's Muhammad, Imad, Bruce Lee.
Damn it, I want to change my answers now.
And yes. Snatch is a difficult one because it's obviously not. I've never met a lot of girls that like Snatch. It's really a guy movie, right?
Yeah, guys usually like Snatch.
Yeah, and but I would recommend for anybody to watch it because the writing is so good, the cinematography is so good.
Is absolutely the dialogue is of the best there is in all cinema. The dialogue's amazing.
And when you focus on the dialogue, you actually learn to appreciate how good it actually is. Like it's really well written. And at the same time, I watched it quite late in my life. Like I watched it after I didn't watch it when it first came out. I watched it like maybe 10, 15 years after it came out. And I was like, oh my word, I recognize that guy. There's so many famous people in that movie.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize. But anyway, it's really good. And I loved, and that was also a Guy Ritchie movie that it was my gateway to Guy Ritchie movies. I've watched every Guy Ritchie movie since Snatch. Oh, and even before Snatch, I just fell in love with that. And then a third movie for people to go watch. Oh man, I had it in my head and now I forgot.
Actually, I'm going to change my answer.
No, you can't. Hold on. Wait.
I can.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay, you finish, and then I'll change my answer.
I know.
What's the other one? Come, you have to do the third one.
I'm thinking. Oh, yes, that was the one. Pulp Fiction. Also a Quentin Tarantino movie, but brilliant.
Stunning movie.
Yeah. And the reason why is, again, brilliant writing. And I think it was, I stand to be corrected, but I think it was one of the first times in cinema history that someone started a story with the end and then brought it full circle at the end of the movie. And I think that's the appeal. And also, again, just the acting, the writing, the sets, everything was... And listen, there's a lot of great movies out there that I can also list that were great with cinematography and all that stuff. One movie, I cannot remember the name, but it was a musical and it was great. Yeah, I know you don't like... You're not a true movie buff, my friend. Okay,
musical's not movie. That's musical.
So yeah, but anyway, there's a lot of other great movies out there, but I think those three were the first ones that popped into my head. I did want to say Star Wars, but then I was like, no, I'm going to stick with the three that popped into my head.
I would definitely say, like, if I really had to think about it hard, I would stay with Return of the Jedi, just because one of the first fantasy movies, the first Star Wars movie I saw, and it's a great fantasy, great storytelling, hero's journey. I'd actually go back and change it from, like, I loved Usual Suspects, plot, twist, all that, but I would actually I'd pick The Matrix over that, just because of, like, the absolute amazing, thought-provoking vibe that The Matrix was.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth?
About reality and government and being controlled. And I would also then have to go with another movie I love, dialogue. When you were mentioned Snatch, I thought of this, which was V for Vendetta.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Absolute brilliant film. Mm-hmm. And it's weird, though, because it kind of predicted what happened in 2020.
True. So again, there's a lot of great movies. I think maybe we could do a podcast on our not necessarily favorite movies, but just movies that we thought were great.
Yes. Yeah,
from the 90s or even wherever, since the beginning of movies till now, which in more recent times there'll be a very short list. Most of the good movies are in the 90s and 2000s. 80s, 90s.
I got another idea we could do. Maybe we could do like a short, maybe do an episode where we review something, recommend a movie we should watch, and then we just we both watch it and we give like our thoughts on it. Some new stuff coming out.
Okay.
And
we'll leave it to the viewers.
We do say Barbie. We both we're forced to watch it and then just go we don't have to. Pick a movie that you think, okay, cool, this is something
we don't have to.
We don't have to do Barbie.
But it's a good idea. That's the problem.
I know, that's a cool idea. Like, review some film, do it properly, where it's like I usually, but my new thing is now, I watch a movie and I sit and make notes. It's going to be fun.
Okay, fine.
We don't have to do Barbie. We're not going to do Barbie. I don't want to do Barbie.
I think we should do Barbie. I think we should. As much as it's going to pain me to do it, we should do it. And here's why. If we're going to tell people not to watch it, we should have at least seen it ourselves.
Yes.
Okay. So let's do it for science, Mork.
Be honest. Let's be intellectually honest and go, it really sucks. And go at least go oh, this was a good point of it, and
Yeah. I'll probably just copy what Ben Shapiro did, but yeah.
Burn a Barbie doll.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of those questions. If you have any questions for us, please drop them in the comment section below. And don't forget, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, and anywhere. Well, not anywhere. Those are the main places that you can find us. And also, don't forget to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, or Twitter, as it's X is now called, and where we upload clips and you can see some of the best parts of the show and keep up to date with what's coming next, and also engage us on social media if you guys have any suggestions for us, what topics we should talk about next, or who a guest we should have on and you would like to see us talk to them. Please drop it in the comment section below, or let us know on social media. We're very easy to get a hold of, and all the links are in the description below. Mork, sign us off.
Well, thanks so much for watching, y'all. Hope you guys stay. No.
You're not making any sense at all.
Thanks so much for watching, y'all. I'm gonna keep that in because
that's one for the blooper reel.
But thanks so much for watching, y'all. Find us on social media, Joe, Mork. Follow us everywhere, and we'll see you guys soon. Joe, as we always say,
stay based.
Wonk, wonk.